Monday night, and that can mean only one thing. It is, of course, the UK and Ireland Monday Night Skippys, brought to you here on Racesport TV and iRacing Live. This time, we are at the Barber Motorsports Park, and we will be right back with you after this short message. Welcome back to live coverage of Monday Night Skippys here on Racesport TV and iRacing Live. We've got 16 laps of Barber Motorsports Park in Alabama, just outside of Leeds in fact, which for me is about 40 miles away in Yorkshire, but this of course is the other one in the States. And well, we've got an interesting race coming up for you tonight. And if anybody who watched last week's broadcast, you will have seen an absolutely titanic fight at the front there. 6 cars all together, battling it out for the lead all towards the end of the race. This week, it's a different track, a little bit more technical in places than Okayama. So we're definitely going to see a different style of racing. People trying to get the cutbacks, trying to get the good run through the chicanes as well towards the end of the lap. So going to be interesting to watch this one. Of course, Barber Motorsports Park does host Verizon IndyCar Series and produces some fantastic racing, and well, these skip barbers, they should be ideally suited to going 2-3 wide down the back section. I'm Paul Smith, and well, I'm on my own today for this broadcast, but doing the cameras, as always, is Hugo Lewis for us tonight. And well, as I say, 16 laps of this magnificent circuit. We're just in qualifying at the moment, and just looking at the front of your field with about 2 minutes left of qualifying, it is LJ Garnett who of course we saw having that titanic battle at the front last week until his something failed on his car. He is currently in that provisional pole position by just under 0.3 of a second ahead of Stuart Adcock, with Clark Williams currently standing in 3rd place in qualifying. Tom Ward 4th with Brian Holmes 5th. That's the top 5 of your qualifying proceedings at the moment. 26 cars have entered this one. It's slightly different to last week where we had 60 cars, but with the festive season, it's understandable that people would choose to just sit out this week and just spend time with the families. But for anyone who is watching this broadcast, thank you for joining us. Do appreciate your company and your time here tonight. Of course, Boxing Day, plenty of turkey has been had. And we've certainly enjoyed the leftovers from yesterday as well. Well, these guys are going to serve up a real treat for us tonight. So looking at the qualifying then, and we'll have a look at see who's going at the moment. Stuart Adcock is just trying to, it's just going around onto the second half of the lap now. And he's gone through the chicane around about the halfway point of the chicanes at turn 7. 7, 7A and 7B, of course it is. And well, now I'm going to go through this left-right chicane. It's quite a high-speed chicane is this one, about 100 miles an hour on the apex of the first one. Get it slowed down for the second part, and then look at this now. It's a really long long right-hander here that tightens up there at the end. Through turn 15 there. Get it up to the right-hand side to get the best line through turn 16. He's going to come across the line. He'll just have enough time to get one more lap in here on this one because the clock is ticking down. And, well, that top 5 is still as it was at the start there, but Stuart trying to get a lap in, trying to just get that one final timed lap to get that pole position from LJ Garnett, who, well, he's still running around at the moment, trying to get one more lap in and get that. Now, Tom Ward is sat in the pits at the moment, only 7 thousandths of a second behind Clark Williams, who's third at the moment. Clark Williams still going around as well, so we've got to see a few people improving their times as we head into the closing section of this qualifying. LJ Garnett then is coming around the last corner. Can he improve on his provisional pole lap? He's got a 1:34.7 as he goes across the line now. Will he improve it? The answer is no, he doesn't. So he'll stay as he is. Stuart Adcock's in the gravel. And we'll just have a look through, see anybody else is getting those laps in. Mick Watson just going through the chicane at the moment towards the end of the lap. Rob Plumley as well heading towards the back end of the track, although Rob Plumley a little bit out of control there, so deciding to abandon things there. And well, we will be all set then as Mick Watson will come through the final corner now to take the checkered flag at the end of this qualifying. He's currently 7th. Can he improve 35.6 as he goes across the line? Does he improve it? No, he does not. And one final car, Ian Bassey, is going to send it to the pit, so we will be able to take you through your starting grid for tonight's race. And it is LJ Garnett who has pole position tonight, just 0.3 of a second ahead of Stuart Adcock. Clark Williams in third with Tom Ward right behind, 7 thousandths of a second behind in fourth. Brian Holmes then on row 3 with Seymour Harding in 6th. 7th place, Mick Watson, as we just saw, with Andrew Leach in 8th. Rob Plumley is in 9th with Steve Hefford rounding out the top 10. And then looking down further down the order then, Paul Thurston, Ashla Beard, Matt Cox, Philip Ilkers, Karen Roch, Thomas Kuhn, Chris Bassett, Alan Patterson, Niall McGinty and Lee Deemer in 20th, Simon Maltby in 21st, Adam Atherton in 22nd, Ian Bassett 23rd, Del Bennison, Kevin Woods and then Jack Gordon rounds out your field. So these drivers getting all set then, as I say, 16 laps around this 2.3 mile course at Barber Motorsports Park. And these guys will be getting set for this race. It's going to be a tough race for them. Plenty of places to overtake around here. But there's also plenty of opportunities to lose control of the car and cause yourself a lot of damage. As drivers just heading up ready to go on this one. And just counting down towards the start of this race. And it's quite a tough one as we head into turn 1. And of course, the Christmas music, of course, means, yeah, we are at Christmas here. It is Boxing Day evening. As I say, thank you very much for joining us here on RaceSpot TV and iRacing Live. For this broadcast, the Skip Barbers always produce fantastic racing for us, and it'll be a true festive treat for us tonight. Turns 1, turns 2, going to be really tricky for these guys to get through. And then as they head down towards the hairpin, there was like the first real overtaking opportunity down at turn 5. Hard braking into that hairpin, so going to be interested to see how these guys get through. Just waiting for the final couple of drivers to head on to the grid, and we'll be looking to be all set for the start of this one. Lee Garnett then, the best view of the field, clear track in front of him on pole position, But Stuart Adcock getting ready now, and the revs will rise here. The lights will be going to green. Away we go then from the start. LJ Garnett, not the best start there, and Stuart Adcock is going to get a little bit of a run on him. Down towards turn one they go, looking to the outside. It's Adcock, but not going to make it through there. And well, the rest of the field will come charging through. Turn one, will they all make it through? The answer is yes, they do make it through turn one, but turn two now. This is where these drivers are just going to try and feed back into a queue here, and looking down towards the hairpin. You already got battles going on here. Looking down the inside is Tom Ward in that 09 car, looking for third place, and he'll get that third place now from Clark Williams, that was, who lost the position. Further down the order, Ashley Beard is dropping down position as well. That's down in 13th, and well, everybody's still running, so good driving from everyone so far. But LJ Garnett in the lead with Stuart Adcock second. Tom Ward then is up into third with Clark Williams fourth, Brian Holmes fifth, Mick Watson sixth, Seymour Harding is in seventh place, and we've had Matt Cox have a spin at the back end of the course, about halfway around. Is the 866 car back up and running, and well, he lost that as he went round the chicane there. A little bit of contact, he was helped, but he is back up and running now. But these drivers heading towards the end of this first lap then. LJ Garnett coming around this penultimate corner, and already he's got a little bit of a gap. We've got somebody else dropping down the order. Thomas Coombe is dropping down the order. He's had a little bit of an incident, but he's back up and running. So all the cars still running in this race. It's the battle for second place though, where it's at the moment. Stuart Adcock and Tom Ward, who's had a fantastic first lap, going into turn one now. Oh, and look at that, Adcock's run wide, and well, he's got the inside line for the next corner. That's going to slow every one of these guys up. And look at that, looking down the inside now, Tom Ward trying his best, not able to make the move, but he's got a great run out of that little kink there at 4, down towards turn 5, the hairpin. He's got the inside, he made this move for third place on the previous lap, and he's going to go through there for that second place now. The question is, can Tom Ward catch up a 1.3 second gap, because that's what our leader LJ Garnett has got at the moment at the front. Heading down towards turn 7 and 8 now, through the chicane, over the curbs. He used as much of the curbs as possible, and that was Clark Williams losing control on the curbs there, dropping down the order, was in 4th place, now dropped down to 9th, going side by side with Steve Hefford, and Hefford trying to go around the outside. As we'll look at the quick replay, and well, Hefford now is going to make it past, so Clark Williams down to 10th place just from that little mistake. We're back live with the coverage here, and Tom Ward has already broken up a little bit of a gap now in that 09 car, so that Friction Racing car just getting that little bit of a gap, and it's Stuart Adcock now under pressure from Brian Holmes, who's in 4th, as we go across the line for the end of the second lap then. It is LJ Garnett in the lead here, Tom Ward in 2nd, Stuart Adcock 3rd with Brian Holmes in 4th, Mick Watson 5th place, Seymour Harding 6th, Andrew Lynch is in 7th place with Rob Plumley 8th. Steve Hefford is in 9th, and as we just saw, Clark Williams down in 10th place, but putting the pressure on Steve Hefford, who's got a little bit of damage on the front wing as Steve, and he's going to just be affected a little bit with front end grip. And well, there isn't too many medium to high speed corners, but look at this now, Clark Williams looking to the inside of the hairpin, and surely that will be signed, sealed and delivered. Throws it down the inside, the number 98 will run wide though on the exit, and Hefford trying to get the cut back, but the next corner is a right-hander, so Clark Williams does have the inside line, and Hefford decided, you know what, I'm going to go back into the draft, and Williams has got that move done. One up to 9th place now, recovering and running wide there through turn 8 is Williams, so a little bit of a different line compared to the rest, and sometimes it's working, sometimes it isn't. We go through the chicane now, clambering all over the curbs. Really is a tough track, is this one, to make moves stick, and well, that is what Clark Williams has done on that last lap. Looking further forward in your field, Andrew Leach is pretty close behind Seymour Harding. That Apex car currently in 6th place is Seymour Harding, Andrew Leach, Robert Plumley is not too far away from these guys as well, so that is 6 down to 8th. All in a little group here, a little gaggle of cars as they go through turn 1. It's pretty fast through here, considering the corner, and that's a little mistake from Seymour Harding, running wide in the exit of turn 1, but able to keep it up tight through turns 2 and 3, and heading through the little kink at 4. And Andrew Leach now trying to make that slipstream work, that draft work, but looking to the outside. So Harding is holding that defensive inside line, trying to get the cut back here and trying to make it work, and had to get on the just get out of it a little bit there because they almost went into the back of him. And Robert Plumley now coming up behind. He's trying to get involved in this one to make it a three-way dance, and well, into this turn 7 and 8 complex. Clark Williams is also now on the back of this train of cars. These are all slowing each other down with this little bit of battling, so that's going to bring others into the fight as well. You've got Steve Hefford at the back of them. Andrew Leach not able to get close enough for the time being on Seymour Harding as they head through this back section of this track, a really high speed section of the track there. Just get on the brakes a little bit for this right hander, and through long double apex right hander now through the corner they go, tightens up at the end there, trying to get the ideal line, and well, at the moment those group of cars are all staying as they are. And we've got a little bit of problem. Alan Patterson, who we saw have an accident in the last race at Okayama, he's just dropped down the order a little bit. He's back up and running though, although saying that, Ian Bassey has no front wing, no front nose at all, so issues for Ian further down the order for them. That's 22nd and 23rd for them. They're looking at the front now. Tom Ward under pressure, they're looking side by side, and Stuart Adcock's going to take that second place back down the inside into the hairpin, and that is through goes Stewart for that one. So back up in second place. All the while, LJ Garnett has got a 2.7 second gap at the front. So those guys squabbling away. They're not able to catch up. Oh, big mistake there from Tom Ward, clattering over the curbs, almost bottoming out. In fact, gets a lot. Oh, we've got issues further back. That is Andrew Leach and Seymour Harding, and also Steve Hefford involved in an incident there. We'll have a quick look at that one, I'm sure, because, well, Steve Hefford was avoiding the incident, and it was the cars in front then, and it was 43 that got into the side there. Seymour Harding got into the side of them. Steve Hefford just spun in avoidance. They're all back up and running though. Everybody's still in this race, so everybody's still alive and kicking in this one. That's shaken up the order a little bit. Lee Deemer just dropping down the order another place as well. Jack Godden ahead of them now, and Thomas Coombe catching up behind. That's all for 16th and 17th place further down. But that little incident has just broken up the battles that we were seeing further up the field there. Although saying that, Paul Thurston's trying to put the pressure on Rob Plumley, who is in 7th place. So Plumley, of course, benefiting from that little bit of an incident there through 7 and 8. We're already on lap 6 here, so pretty much heading towards halfway. Just 2 more laps, that'll be halfway in this race. This race flying by already, and we've seen a couple of incidents, but nothing too dramatic. As I say, all cars still running here, but it's LJ Garnett in the lead, ahead of Stuart Adcock. And Adcock, well, he's 3.1 seconds behind at the moment, but he's got a queue of cars. Tom Ward, Brian Holmes, Mick Watson, they're all about half a second between them. So pretty close, they're all being the slipstream there. Not able to make any moves. Then a 3.8 second gap to Clark Williams, who's recovered back up to 6th place now after having that mistake earlier on in the race. Back up to 6th now, and well, looking through the field, and well, your closest battling going on at the moment, you would have to say, is Andrew Leach and Seymour Harding, because Harding was all involved, just getting collected in that one, and it's Andrew Leach who's trying to get back at Seymour now to go through the final turn. battered and bruised cars, both of them down in 10th and 11th, and Andrew Leach in that slipstream down into turn 1 now. Oh, and Harding just running a little bit wide again in that 43 machine. But Leach just trying desperately to make it through, but at the moment can't quite get close enough to make any moves here in this battle. Of course, trying to move forward after that instant last lap. Leach getting the better line through the hairpin now. He's going to get the better drive, is he? They're going to go side by side as they head down towards turn 7 and 8, the chicane. But oh, look at that Harding though, the better drive out the corner. Now through 7A, 7B into 8 now. Leach is trying to carry the speed through, and he's got Simon Maltby catching up behind us. Tom Ward at the front, second place. Back into second place now for Tom Ward. He's made the move on Stuart Adcock. So those two changing positions. And well, look at this now. Brian Holmes is trying to get involved in this one. He's thinking, I want a podium position. I want that third place. And going through the penultimate corner, getting onto the curb on the exit. Not able to quite take advantage of the move that Tom Ward did. And that will mean that Adcock will stay in third place for the time being. We are on lap 8 now, so we're halfway through the race then. And look at that, just running a little bit wide mid-corner to try and get the better exit is the 52 car of Adcock. Into the slipstream, down towards the hairpin. And Adcock looking menacing, looking to maybe make a move, but deciding against it for the time being. But as we say, at the halfway stage it is LJ Garnett in the lead, Tom Ward second, Stuart Adcock third with Brian Holmes fourth, Mick Watson fifth with Clark Williams sixth with Rob Plumley down in up in seventh place should I say, Paul Thurston eighth, Ashwell Beard ninth, and Seymour Harding is holding on to 10th place at the moment. And well, if we have a look at the people who have gained positions in this race, and well, Tom Ward's up 2 positions, Mick Watson's up 2 positions, Paul First and Ashwell Beard up 3 positions, so really good racing from them so far. Clark Williams, of course, with that little mistake of their own, down 3 positions there. Simon Maltby though, up 9 positions, Jack Gordon up 10 positions, so great racing from those two further down your order, so good to see that from those guys further down. But LJ Garnett, he's pulled out a second pretty much in the last couple of laps on these guys who are battling away. And and Rob Plumley, there's an incident with Rob Plumley here further down the order, and he's going straight to the pits. He was in 7th place. We'll have a look at the replay there, and it was going through that into that penultimate corner, looking down the inside. Oh, that was an ambitious move from who was that made that move? It was Paul Thurston who got involved in that one. So Rob Plumley just dove straight into the pits while he had the opportunity, but he'll be spitting feathers about that one. He's dropping down our timing screen. He was up in 7th place now, down to 20th at the moment. He's in his pit stall, getting his repairs, getting back up and running now. But look at this, Stuart Adcock at the front, side by side now with Tom Ward. The battle's at it again. Oh, they're getting pretty close. They're almost touching wheels there as they head in towards 7. But at the moment, Tom Ward able to hold it down the inside, climbs all over the curbs and back up and running again through 8. And well, Adcock is showing his intentions here. He's wanting that position from Tom Ward in front of him. And well, great racing from these guys. A lot of respect shown as well. They were pushing each other. They were getting a bit close to each other, but giving each other racing room. And that's what we like to see with these guys. And you always see it every week here on Race Spot TV and iRacing Live, Monday Night Skippies. Thank you for being with us here on this Boxing Day evening. It's absolutely fantastic to have you all along. And well, Adcock is going to have to try it again, try and get close enough to Tom Ward to make that move, and hopefully this time make that move stick. So through 1 into 2 they go, and Tom Ward just getting it a little bit wide into 2. Adcock just closing that gap up again. Oh, running all over the grasses. Adcock is determined to keep his foot in here, and he's looking now. He's in the slipstream. He's going to have to go to the outside though. Tom Ward has given him no option but to go outside, and well, he's not going to make it through. And well, Adcock's going to have to stay behind in third place. Andrew Leach has had an incident on this last lap, and well, it was all on his own in towards turn 1. Just lost the back end, sent the car around, didn't make any contact with the barrier, so he's back up and running now. He's dropped down the order though, has Andrew Leach down to 18th as Lee Deemer has made a position on Karen Roach, and Steve Hefford and Jack Godden going side by side as well, and Hefford will make the move up into 12th place, but it's a battle for second. Look at this, side by side into the chicane. The sparks flying as the bottom of the car hits the ground, and Tom Ward is just able to hold on ahead of Stuart Adcock. But now it's all about how are these cars. You've got to look after the engine, look after the tyres, looking after this car. We saw what happened last week with LJ Garnett with the way his car had a mechanical failure. We're on to now, it is lap 11. They've gone across the line now, so heading in to the closing stages of this race. And look at Adcock now. He's showing all of his intentions now to make this move. And Ward under intense pressure through turns 2 and 3. And this is where Adcock's been getting the better run on the last few laps, and straight away Ward's got defensive. He's run a bit wide actually, he went defensive a little bit early. That's given Adcock the opportunity down the outside. Will he make the move? Ward, oh, it's almost locking up tyres, but through keeping that position, he's going to run it out wide over the grass, and these two are still going to be battling it out now. Adcock trying to make that move into the slipstream. He's going to look to the outside. You're not really going to make the move stick there unless you can hang it out, and you can't really do that. And Ward backing up into Stuart Adcock, parking it on the apex in the middle of turn 7. But Adcock, he's determined now to make this move and make it stick as they go through this first of the 2 fast chicanes on this back section. Ward running onto the grass, that's going to make him a little bit slower, and Adcock looking to the inside. You can't really make the move though at that point. It's all going to be just patience now from Adcock. He's got the Brian Holmes is now second behind, so Brian's just dropped off this 2, battling away a little bit. Maybe he's hoping that these two will come together at some point and take each other out, and he get the second place at that point. Adcock just onto the grass there on the exit of turn 16. Another lap is in the books, and that lap count is counting down more and more. The time is starting to just run a little bit out there, and Ward again just is not quite, I don't think he's quite got the pace of Adcock through turns 2 and 3. And Adcock now looking to the outside. He's moving early, is Ward. He's not giving him the opportunity to get down that inside, and Adcock is going to have to go around the outside, go the long way around. You can't really do that. Tries to get the cut back now, but not working at all here as they go down towards turn 7 and 8 again. Adcock, look at it, right up into the gearbox, a black car having to get out the way of these two battling away. Fantastic racing from these two, still not able to get past though as Adcock. Tom Ward showing us some great defensive driving here today for you in this Monday night Skippys. Through the chicane, they'll head over to the right hand side of the track, although Tom Ward going a little bit defensive. He's compromising his line into that chicane. He's going to be slower. That's just allowing Brian Holmes to come in towards them now. And Adcock, he's making the most of the opportunity. He saw a gap there. He's trying to make it stick. Tom Ward, they give each other room. There's maybe a little bit of contact there. But through the penultimate corner and then the last corner, Adcock now, he's trying to get the better run out of that final corner. And Tom Ward going defensive. That friction car trying to hold on to that second place. Adcock round the outside of turn 1. It's not going to work. He's onto the grass. Still not able to get that second place. Fantastic racing from these guys, and Brian Holmes is well and truly in the battle now. This is a three-way fight over that second place as they head on down to the hairpin once again. Lap 13 of this race. Ward going defensive again, holding that line, trying to get the run now out the corner is Adcock. We're seeing him get the better run through there, and he's looking to the outside, but that's going to open up the gap to the inside for Brian Holmes if he wants it, but they're going side by side into 7, over the curbs they go. Oh, and thank you very much, Holmes, looking down the inside, little bit of rubbing there, little bit of contact. Holmes gets his nose ahead of Adcock now. Adcock loses 1 position, could end up losing 2 positions, but Holmes is off. He's got damage to his car. So that is pretty much game over for Holmes in that one. Adcock now, he's dropped back 9/10 of a second behind Ward. That one little mistake there, that one gap, and that was it. As Adcock now running onto the grass, he's outliving Mick Watson the opportunity, and Clark Williams, who we saw have that incident earlier on, just that mistake down at 7. That dropped them down to 11th place. Now battling for a podium position here. Fantastic recovery as we're going through now across the line. It is lap 14 here. It's still LJ Garnett in the lead. Tom Ward is in second with Stuart Adcock now in third. Well, still in third, should I say. Mick Watson now is the car behind him. Fourth, Clark Williams in fifth. Ashland Beard is all on their own really in 6th place, ahead of Paul Thurston in 7th. Steve Hefford 8th place with Jack Godden in 9th. Thomas Coombe is in 10th place. That's the top 10 as they head on down. We've had an instant for Kyron Roach coming out the final corner, getting onto the grass. That wheel got onto the grass and bang into the concrete pit wall. That's going to cause a lot of damage. Karen goes back up and running, but it's a full lap before can get any repairs on that car. Lee Deemer is side by side with Andrew Leach. Andrew Leach, of course, is recovering from an earlier incident in this one. And Leach trying to go around the outside, should I say, but not able to make that move stick for the time being, because this is a battle with Simon Maltby, Lee Deemer, and Leach, Andrew Leach. That's a battle for 11th, 12th and 13th as they head on in towards turn 7. Still Leach getting pretty close behind and not able to make the move, but getting the better run out of turn 8. Can't really make the move into the chicane here. You can set up the car in front, you can force them into a mistake, and that is what Andrew Leach is trying to do at the moment here, trying to force the error. We've seen how people, after so long in this race, they're getting towards the end of the race. We're on to lap 15 of this race, by the way, the penultimate lap. Simon Maltby just getting the back end a little bit loose there, going into these final few corners. As I say, battle for 11th. Oh, as Deemer just almost had Leach going into the side of him, and the car behind, that's Adam Atherton, so close towards the end of the race, lost control in the final corner, into the barrier on the outside. We saw one car the previous lap lose the control, going onto the barrier, onto the wall on the inside, this time onto the outside barrier, into the wall head first. He's taking a tour back to the pits, so he is maybe not quite going to make it to the end of the race. Lee Deemer side by side still. And, well, down the outside is Leach, not going to try and make it. He's not going to make it work, but if he holds it around the outside now, he's got the better run. He's got the inside line as Leach going down towards turn 7 now. And you would think that Leach will get that move done. Throws it down the inside, and the guy in the 502 car has moved up into 12th position. Not where he wants to be, of course, after that those earlier incidents, but well, back up a position at least. Onto the final lap of this race, and it is LJ Garnett, almost 11 seconds ahead of your second place man. He's in a world of his own here in this race, and well, Tom Ward second with Adcock in third. Adcock's not been able to get past, he's not been able to get close enough to make a move as well. So as we head on towards the end of this one, it's going to be pretty much in the bag unless he does something silly towards the end as Dima and Leach, we saw, of course, Leach making that move, so they are done and dusted. Dima had a little bit of damage on the front of his car, I did notice as well. We've got side by side Alan Patterson and Chris Bassett in towards turn 1. And, well, it is Bassett who makes it ahead of Patterson in that battle. But now, as we head towards the end of the lap now, it is one man who's dominated. He started on pole position in this race. He was 0.3 of a second quicker in qualifying. And as he heads into this final corner now, he is 11 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. He'll come across the line, and LJ Garnett, he didn't get the win last week. He gets it this week, though. Fantastic effort from him. Absolutely superb. Out front from the get-go. Lights to flag finish. And, well, it's going to be Tom Ward who ends up in second place ahead of Stuart Adcock as they go across the line. As in third, Mick Watson just ahead of Clark Williams as they go across the line. Fourth and fifth. The rest of your field will be working the way through. They're gapped out quite a bit. Obviously, instance involved in this one. Jack Godden and Thomas Coombe, they're still battling it out, fighting towards the end here as they go through the final corner. And it will be Jack Godden who will just manage to sneak out ahead of Thomas Coombe as they go across the line here now. And, well, looking further down your order, this battle now, Seymour Harding has obviously doing a recovery drive as well, had to pit in this one, did Seymour. Going across the line now, down in 17th place, so not good from Seymour for him. So what we will do then, is we will look as the last couple of cars come across the line now, we will go through your final results in week 2 of the UK and Ireland Monday Night Skippies, and it is LJ Garnett who ends up winning this one by 11.4 seconds ahead of Tom Ward in second place. Stuart Adcock then in third place, only just in third place as well, 0.3 of a second behind Ward. Mick Watson just sneaks that one ahead of Clark Williams by 0.04 of a second. In fifth was Clark. Sixth place, Ashler Beard with Paul Thurston in seventh. Steve Efford ended up in 8th place with Jack Godden 9th. Thomas Coombe rounding out your top 10. Then 11th was just Simon Maltby, just 0.1 of a second ahead of Sir Andrew Leach. Lee Dima in 13th with Robert Plumley 14th. Chris Bassett 15th ahead of the battling Alan Patterson and Seymour Harding. Kevin Woods then was finished in 18th place with Philip Urquhart in 19th, Ian Bassett in 20th, and the cars that finished one lap down or more. Matt Cox in 21st, Kieran Roach in 22nd, Adam Atherton 23rd, Dale Bennison in 24th, Brian Holmes in 25th, and Neil McGinty. But Brian Holmes and McGinty did not finish this race. What we'll do is just take a quick step aside, and hopefully a couple of drivers will join us for a quick interview. So make sure you stay tuned for all the roundup, the post-show here on Racespot TV and iRacing Live. This is the UK and Ireland Monday Night Skippies, and we're going to take a quick short break. Welcome along then to the post show here on Racespot TV and iRacing Live. It's UK and Ireland Monday night Skippys. What a race we saw then from all of these drivers. Fantastic action all the way through though. And it's LJ Garnett who ended up winning that one, 11.4 seconds ahead of Tom Ward, with Stuart Adcock in third place. And well, it's time for the drivers to give their thoughts on this race, and what I will do now is bring in Paul first. And you started off in 11th, Paul, ended up in 7th. Yeah, so you had made a few places in that race. Just talk us through your evening.
Yeah, hi Paul. Well, it was a good race, punctuated by one major brain fade really when I took Rob Burton out. I haven't had much practice this week, so I was surprised by a decent amount of pace, sort of like nudging the top 10 on qualifying, but there's a few people missing, obviously. But it was, I was doing really well. Then Rob made a mistake, and I tried to go inside at the final combination, and it just wasn't on. And I apologised to him over the radio. And he was okay with it. But no, I don't like it when I do that. Then after that, the car was a little bit bent. Ashley got past me, but I couldn't catch him. But the people behind me, and so it was a quiet race. But I like this place. It's a great little track for racing, and it's got a lovely flow to it.
Well, it certainly suits the Barber as well. It just seemed to suit the Skippy. But yeah, it was Rob Plumley that you had the incident with, wasn't it, in the penultimate corner. I think we did catch that on the coverage. But last week we saw the absolutely massive grid of 60 cars, but this week 26, of course, it is the festive period, and still to get a grid of this size and the quality of this grid as well. We saw action all the way through. It just shows how fantastic the racing is in this series.
Yeah, well, I was expecting about 10, to be honest. So I was quite surprised when I initially came in. I was, my first laps were like, I was in like 23rd place. But we do get really good grids on this series. It's just such good racing. I mean, the fact that Rob Plumley, he got hit by someone else on the first lap, practically in the first corner. But then I hit him afterwards, and he takes it in such good part because hopefully he knows I don't normally do that.
Yeah, and I know from racing and being teammates with Rob as well myself, I know that he'll maybe have a few words under his voice at the time, but he won't hold grudges, that's for sure. But next week, where do we head to next week then? Because of course, it's the day after New Year's, isn't it? Next week, so few sore heads will possibly be next week.
Yeah, well, I'll be all right. We're at Imola. Oh, the curbs. Yeah, the curbs might give a few people headaches if they've got hangovers. Imola shouldn't work for the Skip Barber. It really, really shouldn't. It's all long straights. It's stop-start. It actually works brilliantly in the Skippy because you've got just enough straights to get yourself into a position to overtake for the next chicane, but only just. You've really got it. It's not like it's not a DRS race at all. So it's great to I've raced it a couple of times. Last time I was there, I tried it on 2.1 gallons and failed, which is a pity. I was in a great position, but I won't try that again. But yeah, it should be good next week. I think we'll have a lot more people next week, I think.
Yeah, certainly. Well, thanks a lot for joining us, Paul, and all the best for next week.
No problem. Thanks a lot, Paul.
Okay, so that was Paul first, and then what we'll do now is bring in a man who had a couple of incidents in this one. You started off in 6th place, Seymour, but as we saw, a little bit of contact down at the chicane at turn 7. Just talk us through your evening.
I felt I qualified far too high, way above my skill set, especially ahead of the likes of Mick and I can't remember who else, but and Paul. No less, but I felt really under pressure. I lost the draft quite soon once Mick went past me, and who was it? There was Andrew and Philippe right behind me, really pressuring me, and I'm not sure if I was slow into corners or they were coming in too fast, but I got two tiny bits of contact. Andrew's had a look and it doesn't look like we actually touched, but it must have been the tiniest of nudges with maybe a bit of netcode thrown in. But so that cost me 4 or 5 places. Poor old Philip speared me big time, and I had to pit, but a few people went off at the same time, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it was still really good fun, nice tight racing. Well, mostly clean.
Well, that's it. I mean, we were just saying to Paul that the racing round here is always pretty good in this the Skip Barber car, and well, you'd kind of hope so, since it's a Barber Motorsport pack. But just talk us through. It's Imola next week for the championship, and that's going to be a tough old race for drivers to be able to make those moves stick.
Yeah, I haven't raced Imola yet, so I'm a little trepidous about that one. I've done lots and lots and lots of laps, but nothing under too much pressure, so another hard track to overtake, or dangerous places to overtake. Maybe not quite as hard as Barber, but we'll see. Much blood, maybe spilt.
Oh well, thank you very much for joining us, Seymour, and in this festive time, and all the best for next week.
Pleasure. Thank you very much. Good night, everyone.
So Seymour Harding then joining us. So we're looking to wrap things up here, and it was an absolutely fantastic race. Congratulations, LJ Garnett, for getting the big win there in this series. Tom Ward and Stuart Adcock there. What a battle between those two, and others as well further down the field. So we will be joining you next week. Hopefully Rachel will be back for next week, rather than me being left on my own here for Imola. 9 o'clock, of course, GMT, Monday night, as always, here on iRacing Live and RaceSpot TV. But until then, from myself, Paul Smith, thank you very much for joining us. Good night.